I'm Kevin Davis. This is the Catholic Family Podcast, and this is the third time I'm recording this video. Third time's a charm, they say, and so hopefully this will just be the absolutely best recording. The devil is trying to make it so that I don't record this one, but it's a really good one. It's a really important one, and it's just simply an update of what's going on in Omaha. Now, Omaha, Iowa, they're pretty much connected. This is where the one of the major seminaries is under Bishop Mark Pivarunas. Connected, affiliated with the CMRI, the Congregation of Mary Immaculate Queen. Now, this isn't the official CMRI seminary or the one that is actually CMRI because that is in Idaho under Father Benedict Hughes. This one is directly under Bishop Mark Pivarunas and he is aided by Father Carlos Borja and Father Stephen Sanquist there in Iowa. Now, recently, this is on December 12th, they had major and minor ordinations. So they had major ordinations to the diaconate and subdiaconate and other minor ordinations as well to, I believe, exorcist and acolyte and porter and lector. So I first, if my internet's going to let me, I want to share a video because this is what actually caught my attention from GJ Gabriel. That's not her real name, but obviously she doesn't want to share her real name. But thank you for this video anyway. This is, of course, from Lupe. This is typically the feast where the bishop does either major or minor ordinations. He does them twice a year, one in December, one in May. Father Borja, for example, was ordained on this date 12 years ago. Now, that was Father Francis Miller walking out with the cross first, which is pretty awesome. I have a great respect for him. He is the head of the Franciscans in Brazil and Louisiana, not directly connected with the CMRI, so it's great to see him there. I know he's very, of course, friendly with those in Omaha and others as well. It's just I just like to see him. I like him a lot. Father Sanquist, you see out of the picture, Father Selner as well. This is Father Giles Pardue. He's with Father Francis Miller, I believe still in Louisiana. He was ordained by Bishop Mark a few years ago. Father Benedict Hughes, Father Carlos Borja. Father Benedict is the head teacher in Idaho. Father Borja is in Iowa. Bishop Pivarunas, of course. I'm sure you all know his face by now. Some of them I do not know. Those getting minor orders, the younger seminarians. I know him. He's from Italy. Pretty cool. You have a group of seminarians from America, South America, Portugal, Italy, Austria. Very diverse group in all of the best ways. And we got to visit them a few years ago during Christmas, and I was really impressed. They were really fun, down to earth, but also very respectable. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's how I felt. And I think they're a really good group, and as you see, they're producing what seems to be very good fruit. As you see, the first two sub deacons. I believe. Let me see. I'm going to pull this up from the other post. I don't think you guys can see that, but the subdeacons are Anthony Alley, Kyle St. Alban, and Lucas Costa. So the ones there, I think on the right, that's Kyle St. Alban and Lucas Costa on the left. I think I'm just assuming the one on the left looks like more of a Costa, and coming behind them will be Anthony Alley. So they will be now Reverend and Mr. So Reverend Mr. Alban, Reverend Mr. Costa, Reverend Mr. Alley, who is a friend of the show. He was on a show a couple years ago. I like him a lot. Very nice young man who now, well, not so much of a young man anymore, a subdeacon. Big step. That is the step that you can no longer go back from celibacy. You are sworn to celibacy for the rest of your life. So you don't have to become a priest necessarily, but you can never be married after becoming a subdeacon. So big one for these men. Next is Franz Trauner, Reverend Franz Trauner, I should say, and Reverend Noah Ellis. Again, Noah, I should say, Reverend Ellis was on the show a couple years ago as well. His sister did a lot of work on the show, so good friends of ours. I like them both a lot. Really enjoyed their company and talking to them when I can. It's not often, honestly. They're rather busy, but two very, very good young men. and now deacons. Here also is Reverend Leopold Trauner, and here on the left is Frater Martin Sentman. I met him. I met him when he was a young man, very young, when he was maybe 12, 13 years old. Thought him a very um, spastic, sanguine boy, I suppose. And I think people would still say he's a very sanguine young man, but a very nice, very friendly, extremely personable, and fun. I really enjoyed it. He came to Munich with Father Benedict, and we got to spend a few hours with him, and it was really fantastic. Really, really, really neat. Nice person. Reverend Trauner, the two brothers, they come from near Vienna, Austria, so they're about 6 hours from us. We see them a couple times a year. They're good friends of our family, or I like to call them that. I don't know if they'd say the same of us, maybe not, but I certainly consider them very good friends. Um, Two just fantastic young men from a great family, and it's really incredible to have two Europeans taking these steps, because that's something we desperately, desperately need, is more priests. And I don't know how soon they'll come over. Maybe the bishop will want them to stay in the US for a few years, or maybe forever, who knows. But certainly a great blessing to have European what am I doing? European seminarians. Those are the deacons. Choir singing Jesu Rex Admirabilis. Dan Hansen standing here on the left. It's great to see. Just still looking strong. Gonna be early to mid 90s now. He is the man. Love that guy. And just what a beautiful moment. I mean, just it's something that I can't recommend enough. Anyone who can make it to the ordinations, the priestly ordinations in April, I believe April 29th. We're going to do our best to be there for especially the Trauners, but the others as well who we know at least a little bit. Um, it's just something that is such an occasion that everyone should be there at least once in their lives if they can. So I highly, highly recommend it. Try to be there. Take off whatever you need from work. Drive across the states. It's worth it. The ceremony is really one of the most beautiful you will ever see. One of the most ancient. I'll switch the screens here to the pictures from Terry Chekas. Thank you again to her for her work that she does in providing these beautiful pictures of the ceremonies. And the major ordinations are, of course, all of them are beautiful and sublime. The minors as well. They're shorter, but the priesthood is, of course, the biggest, and it's just the most sublime and ancient. Just the rite is very old. You can hear it when you read it as the ceremony is going on. You can just see and recognize how ancient it is and how sublime and deep, and it really just it's like nothing else. And then you have the beautiful choir, and you have all the seminarians and priests and nuns, and it's just something else. Again, if you can be there, if it's not this year, then try another time. God willing, there'll be more priests in in the coming years. There's 3 subdeacons, so hopefully about a year from now or year and a half, there'll be another ordination, and hopefully more and more. And if not in Omaha, then try in Pennsylvania or Florida, wherever they ordain their priests with Bishop Sanborn. Bishop Dolan has a seminary, or I'm sorry, Bishop McGuire has a seminary now in Washington. So if you can witness these, it's just I cannot recommend it enough. And again, very big props to Terry for these great pictures. You see, she's done this many times, knows exactly when to take the proper pictures. I highly recommend anyone who can to follow her on Facebook. She is, yeah, the one who really does this for, I think, almost every event, even the smaller ones. Even when you have a sister who's just becoming a novice, I shouldn't say that's smaller. That's rude to say, I suppose. But she takes pictures of all of them, and it's really a very I'm very grateful for that. As you see, the acolytes receiving the cruets, subdeacons kneeling or prostrating for the Litany of the Saints. Father Sellner from Minnesota there. He is a big help to the bishop. I believe he is still a big help with the border boys. I think he's a border master. So you never know. These things change. wonderful pictures. Many thanks again to Terry. Go check out, her Facebook if you can. Follow her because she will really help you kind of keep up to date with these things. I often forget that they're happening. I need to have on Father Borja to talk about it as well. The steps that are happening, what's up with the seminary, what they need. They always need, new expansions and bigger property, etc., because they're growing, which is a very, very good problem to have, of course. As I have not been sharing the screen. And it has been one of those days. Sometimes. Just shared all those pictures and you guys didn't see any of them. Okay, I'll run through them briefly. I'm sorry guys, I don't think I'm gonna record this 4 times. You guys just got to look at my pretty face while I described these images to you. Sometimes patience. You guys have to have patience with me. I'm helping you be better Catholics, okay? As you see, you can actually now see how good of a job Terry does with her pictures. Thank you all for your patience. I know you need it with me. That's Father Sellner, by the way. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you to Terry, GJ, Gabriel, for their pictures and videos. Thank you to the bishop for providing the sacraments, for giving us an opportunity to have more priests who can give us, the means of grace and the means of, God willing, reaching heaven. And thank you to these young men who've given their lives to also to do that, to be an alter Christus, to give us the mass and the sacraments on earth, and to give up their own opportunity of family, etc., and to instead take the hard path, but the great path towards the priesthood. So please, everyone, pray for them. Keep them all in your prayers, that they can remain steadfast in their vocation, that they can stay strong towards their next steps towards the priesthood. And then as they become priests, it's not like then the journey is over or the trials are over. Then they almost, I imagine, they just begin. And we need more vocations. If anyone's interested in, you think you might have a vocation, please go and check out CMRI.org. Again, CMRI.org. That will be a good place to see all of the information. You can get contact information there as well if you're interested in becoming a seminarian, a brother, a sister, etc. You can learn about the bishop, about Omaha. You can learn about the position of State Contism, etc. So check that out, cmri.org. Thank you all for your patience. Hopefully this one is actually good enough to publish. If not, then we may just have to try another time. God bless you all, and God bless all of these young men, and of course, the priests and the bishops who are doing their best to get us all to heaven. Because in the end, of course, that's all that matters. God bless.